Descriptive writing. Quick question for you. What's the difference between descriptive writing and writing a short story? Some of you will say, well, nothing. They're all creative writing, aren't they? And in this video, I'm going to tell you how that type of thinking gets low marks. Stay tuned. Hi there, my name's Joycelyn Akufo. I'm the Managing Director of Geek School Tutoring. Yes, we specialise in 11 plus preparation, online and at our centres in Lewisham and Beckenham. And we also work with children from reception to GCSE age, supporting them in STEM subjects, English, maths and the 3 sciences. So, today's video is about descriptive writing. Now, I recently held a class online, which I do regularly, and we discussed descriptive writing, and I explained to the students specifically not to turn a descriptive piece into a short story. Now, the question for them to produce the descriptive writing piece on was to describe to describe a very cold place. Notice the key word there is describe. Another key word is cold. Okay, place. And one thing that I noticed is that one of the students immediately went into story mode. You know, I think she started with setting out for the day with her friends or something like that. Immediate story mode. And in fact, we hardly got any description about this cold place. Out of the 6 students, only one of them actually mentioned the cold place, and others were borderline descriptive writing and creative writing, and only one student produced a descriptive writing piece. So this tells me, although yes, of course, this isn't, I'm not saying that the 6 students are a representation of a large pool of students in isolation. But in the decade that I've been teaching writing to students, this is a common problem. Students don't seem to understand that a descriptive writing piece where you are instructed to describe requires you to describe and not tell the story. So I'm going to give some basic tips that if you follow, you can expect amazing marks, because ultimately writing is about providing what you've been asked to provide in the question and, showing the examiner that you understood the question, and, you then get to present your answer in the best possible way. Descriptive writing isn't a story because we focus on describing whatever we've been asked to describe. So generally we tend to focus on the 5 senses: to see, to smell, to touch, to taste, to hear. Okay? And as I explain to my students all the time, you've got to imagine that the reader is like somebody who's been blindfolded, and you are supporting them, let's say, across a very busy road. If you don't provide enough detail for them, they could literally get their foot driven over. Oh dear, just the thought of it is just unbearable, you see. You need to give them as much detail as possible in order for them to safely navigate from one side of the road to the other. Now, the other thing that I explain to my students is that your writing is effective if your reader can play it back in their mind's eye. If they can play it back in their mind's eye like a movie without any gaps, no glitches, no sense of confusion, because there's lack of information and such like, then you have done an amazing job at describing. However, if there are gaps in the description, it will cause problems. So before we carry on with this amazing video, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so that you will get notified every time a new Geek School video goes up. Enjoy! So, describing a cold place isn't about writing about when you woke up, you drove there, you did X, Y, and Z, and so on. All of those details are irrelevant, okay? You need to think about where this cold place is, and, what can be seen, heard, smelt, all the senses, and go into detail. When we write a descriptive piece, we are really going to hone in on our adjectives, our adverbs, okay, to add more colour to the writing. And we are also going to be a little bit more dependent on our figurative language, because they will help to create some imagery for the reader, the whole building a picture in the reader's mind's eye. Now, whenever you get tempted to start telling the story as an event, from one event to the other, you are going to go down a slippery road. Don't do it, okay? Focus on the description. Avoid common phrases and figurative language, cold as ice, okay? Everybody and their dog has heard of the simile as cold as ice. Write something unique, okay? And one of my students actually came up with this simile and I actually loved it. He described the cold being like a germ, that if you stood still, you would catch it. And I thought that was quite funny, to be honest. Very unique. I've never read that in any of my students' writing. Very unique, very humorous, and it brought the piece to life, okay? So you want to focus on those types of details. Think of the colour of what you can see. Think of how something touches, how something touches, okay? How something feels in that cold place. If you're writing about being in a cave that is full of icicles, okay, are we going to describe how the icicles feel? Maybe when you touch the icicle, what happens, after a few moments? Does your finger freeze around it to the point where it feels like it's been stuck with glue? When you breathe, can you see like smoke coming from your nose, as if you were a dragon that has had water doused on it? Something like that, okay? You want to bring those images to life with your words. That's where the marks are. If you turn a descriptive piece into a story, what generally happens is that students don't focus enough on describing, and so they lose marks. And this is something you clearly want to avoid. Descriptive writing is about adding detail, describing, rationalizing what can be seen, heard, tasted, and so on, and then going into that kind of detail with it. So, can you now answer the question? What's the difference between descriptive writing and a short story? I challenge you to put your version in the comments and I will respond. I will definitely respond, guys. So that is what I wanted to get across. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm hoping it was helpful to you. So helpful, in fact, that you are going to not only like, comment and share the video, but you are going to take your writing on a new level, a new journey now, and you're going to ace your upcoming exams, whether it's a stage 2 exam or an independent school exam, or just because you want to do amazingly well as a writer. So that's it, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.